Hello, welcome back to Sacred Vapes, channel that aims to bring you the views and experiences of products in the market today, brought to you by your average vapor. Now this week in the pod series, I've got something that was quite a surprise to me. The fact that it was released so quickly after probably one of my favourite pod systems that I've brought you so far. It's from a company called Smok. You may have heard of them, and it's this. The Smok Mico kit. Now, Smok, I've praised them in the past. I think since the launch of the Species and the ePriv, they've been a very good company. The chipset in the main mod's been much better. The RKISS was great. The Nord, absolutely fantastic. So this one could well be another one of them brilliant little mods that not that many will buy. But before we get into all that, let's give her a vape. Now, this may look familiar. If you ever remember the Mi Pods from last year, I think they released, it looks rather like it. So put that straight out there. But yeah, we'll get into the details now on what you get in the box. Now, this is the box design. As I just show you the details. It comes with contents, warning information, no scratch card. And sorry, yes, there is a scratch card on the side. Now, it's a sleeve that opens up into the box. Now, what you get is the pod, which obviously would be based there. You would get 2 pods. Now, you get, I'll just show you. You get a mesh, which is 0.8 ohm, and you get regular. You notice it says on the bottom of the pod there, regular. That's a 1 ohm coil. Put back into the box. We'll get into the pod in just a second. So we open it up. That's all you really get inside. So what you get, USB charging port. I haven't been using this, I've been using my own one that I've got plugged into my computer, hence why that's not been opened yet. Yeah, nice little instruction book. Been a while since you get an actual booklet. And you get a Smok branded lanyard. Now, I will admit, I have no idea how you attach this. I did take it out when I first got it to try and attach it, but I'm not too sure how to connect it for the record. So yeah, we'll get into the pod now. It's a resin design, as you can see. Comes with bottom USB port for charging. Comes with an on-off switch at the side, and then you get a nice little fill hole there, so you can see when your juice level's getting low. And that's about it. Simply to use the on-off, it's like a switch it down for off, switch it down up for on. It's an automatic draw system. As you can see, as I get the pod out, as I there's what the pod looks like. As I did, this is a 0.8 ohm mesh coil compared to the 1 ohm regular coil. The 1.7 mil capacity. The pod itself is a 700 mAh internal battery. Charging time on this, about just over an hour, I found, via a USB port. So, lastly, you see there, nice little silicone bung to fill up at the side. Comes off, goes back on. Rather straightforward. Let me just get that done. There we go. So yeah, the connection, as you can see, is magnetic, so it just sort of snaps in. No clip, just a magnetic connection. Indicator light at the side, it goes green, yellow, red. You can see that's, well, it's kind of green at the minute, greeny yellow. So yeah, we'll get into the talking about the pod now. And yeah, for me, it was very easy for me to compare this to something like the Nord, simply because it is a pod system in the same essence, same as the way the Nord has mesh coils. This has mesh coils. What I will say about this, it does seem a bit unnecessary, if that makes sense. But we'll get into the pros and cons of this now. The first pro is going to be the size. I mean, it's absolutely tiny. Absolutely tiny. I say it's something designed to be small, stick around your neck. It's nice and easy to use. That's the aim with this, and they've got a spot on with that. Nice and easy device. It's nice and small, a little bit weighty, but I wouldn't say it's heavy. It's not something that I've necessarily felt when it's in my pocket. Next pro for me is going to be the flavour on these coils. They're really, really nice. You do get a nice strong flavour. Much like a lot of other pods I've brought to you, you'll find that it's a nice simple flavour rather than a complex one that you're going to get shining through. I mean, I'm using lemonade, a pink lemonade flavour in this, and I am getting the flavour nice and strong, but if there was all sorts of subtleties of fruit in there, then I wouldn't be getting them. So that's something to bear in mind. Next pro for me is going to be the capacity. The capacity at 700 mAh is absolutely fantastic for a device this small. I've brought you other pods that are actually bigger in profile but smaller in battery, so that is absolutely fantastic. This has lasted me all day, especially when you're taking the odd pull every now and again. It will last you, which is absolutely fantastic. It's nice and easy to use. As I say, that just snaps into place. No messing about. You get a little light at the side to tell you it's connected. The on-off's nice and easy. There's no power options. There's nothing really to get lost in. It's just fill your pod and then snap it in place and you're ready to go. So that's a pro. The fact it comes with a lanyard, as I say, no idea how I connect it. I did try, and then I stuck it back in the box for the video. But the fact that you get a lanyard with it makes it nice and easy to carry around your neck. That's a pro. Yeah, the design isn't slippy. I mean, my hand's a little bit greasy at the minute, and it's not slippy at all. I don't feel like I'm going to drop that nice and easy, so that's a pro. Love the drip tip on the top, if you want to call it a drip tip. It's nice and big, so it's nice and comfortable in the mouth. So that's a big pro as well. They could have went for something a lot smaller, but the fact that they've gone for something big, it means it's going to be nice and comfortable to use. I like the fact that you get a little fill window there, so you know when the juice is low. And yeah, that's pretty much the charge time at just over an hour. I'll say is a pro as well, simply because for something that's starting to creep towards 1000 mAh, you do find sometimes that the charge time does increase quite a bit, especially through a USB port, because I personally charge everything via the USB port rather than a wall socket. But yeah, we'll get into the cons now. First con for me is going to be the pods, which sounds a bit conflicting when I say it like that, but it's mainly because there's not much difference. I mean, this is the mesh coil. This is the regular coil. For the purposes of this review as well, we'll say it's both the same flavour in both the pods, so I get this similar experience. Right, that's plugged in the wrong way. Right, so here's something I've just learned because it's the first time I've done it. The bung, the fill hole bung, goes on the outside of the pod, not the inside. Yeah, to be honest, over a week of using this, first time I've learned that. So there's a little bit less vapor production in this one compared to the mesh. A little bit less vapor production. That's the only real difference. The flavour's quite similar, maybe a tiny bit underneath, but I wouldn't say it's a massive difference. So next con for me is going to be, I'd say, the fact that the indicator lights aren't too distinguishable. The fact that the green and the yellow look very similar. I don't know if you could see that there, but basically the yellow is a bit more of a greeny yellow, so it's hard to gauge really when the battery really is dropping at first glance. You just have to know from experience what the different colours are. So that's a bit of a con. The only other real con I can say about this device is a bit of a strange one. And let me demonstrate. It does seem to kick in more with the regular one, so I'll just change back to the regular pod. Now, if you watch, this is me naturally vaping on a pod system. As you can see, it's very intermittent. As I'll show you again. If you can see, the light is going on and off, which is a little bit strange, and I'll explain why. It's because my natural vaping on a natural pull on a pod system doesn't seem to pick up on the device. But if you take an actual deep inhale, it picks it up a lot more. I mean, switching back to the mesh, seems to recognise it a lot more. That was a much lighter pull, and again you can take a bigger pull. So as you can see, that the regular pod, more than the mesh pod, seems to have that issue, and I don't know why that is, because essentially you would think you're putting a similar amount of power through it. I mean, it's between 10 and 14 watts, so you would expect to have the same sort of reaction on both of them, even if the flavour or the vapour production is slightly decreased. So really not sure why that is. It's a little bit of annoyance, especially when I've been taking the regular one out for a test drive over the past week. So yeah, go back to the, if I can find it, go back to the mesh one again. Will say you can chain vape on these, so that's a bit of a pro as well. Wicking on it is pretty good. I say that this is a 60-40 VG liquid, I think it is, maybe 70, and it is wicking really well. So the coils are really good quality, and I say, admittedly I've been using 2 pods in rotation, but they've both lasted a week. So the pod life certainly does look to be able to do like a week and a half to 2 weeks over a longer period of time. So that is another pro for us. So I'm still praising it, even for the weird cons. But we'll get into the overall of this now. And overall, it's a little bit of a strange one to sum up this, because it's pretty much an unnecessary release, if that makes sense. Not in the sense that it's not a good product, because it is. It actually is a decent pod. I can't really fault it other than that airflow issue. I can't really fault the device, the big battery, the nice flavour, you know, the small profile. You know, these are all great things and things that you would want out of a pod system. It's just that getting released only about, 3 months after the Nord, it kind of clutters up the Smok catalogue, so to speak. I know they've got another one coming out, the Trinity Alpha, so maybe I'll pick that one up and give that a try. But for something like this, it's very much inferior to the Nord, if that makes sense. If you like the look at this device, if you want something really small, especially something you can carry around with you, something that's going to be more of a stealth vape compared to the Nord, then yeah, I would say price point on this, you're going to be looking at about £20 to £25. I'd probably say maybe look about £15 if you see it on offer, which sounds a bit cheap, but I'm seeing the Nord getting sold for a similar price at the minute. So yeah, if you're just looking for an out and out brilliant pod system, then I'd still lean towards getting the Nord. You know, that is still an amazing pod system for flavour and performance. This is just going to be something that you get simply because it's small. It's small, it's reliable, big battery for a small device, and that's really what you're going to be buying. So yeah, if you like the look of it, absolutely pick one up, but just don't pay too much, because what you are getting is really something for a stealth vape. So yeah, that was the Smok Mico kit. Hope you enjoyed the video. Next week on the pod series, I've got something really special. It's only just been announced, or it's going to get announced this week from Aspire. So I'm going to keep that a little bit under wraps until I do the video this weekend. But as always, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll drop a link to the Facebook group as always. And as I always say, stay safe. And keep vaping.